Good afternoon, everyone. As you all know, GMC only sells trucks and SUVs, so the last couple of years have been very nice to them, to say the least. One of their top products has consistently been the Acadia, so today we are at Don Franklin Buick GMC to review the latest 2019 version in the loaded Denali trim. If you're in the market for any new GMC, be sure to stop by or visit their website, which we have provided a link to in the video description. Even though this is the top trim, we will talk about the other 3 trim levels as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and get to it. So getting started with the exterior design, 2019 marks the 3rd year of the new Acadia being on the market, so you'll continue to find one for every style. We of course have the snazzy Denali with its chrome grille, but there are many other front designs ranging from basic black on the SLE-1 to chrome bars on the SLE-2 and up to metallic black with the black accents package. Turning to the headlights, there aren't quite as many options, just halogens on all but this Denali, which has HIDs. All models do, however, get the premium looking LED daytime running lights. And then down below, you'll find fog lights on the SLE-2 and up, with body-colored bumpers and chrome accents on the Denali. Around at the side, again the different trims have different looks. Most have rugged-looking black cladding along the bottom, but Denali goes full body color. And as far as length goes, it measures in at 193.6 inches, which is roughly in line with big rivals like the Highlander and Pilot. Coming to the rear, the back pillar is blacked out to give a wraparound look to the window, and then all trims get the chrome accent connecting the partially LED taillights. Dropping down to the bottom, you'll find at least one exposed exhaust pipe on all trims, though only the Denali gets these dual horizontal exhausts. And up top, all but the base model get silver roof rails. So overall, the Acadia continues to have a classy design that is aged very gracefully. One aspect of the design I haven't mentioned yet are the wheels. On this Denali, we have the unique 5-spoke 20-inch alloy wheels, while the SLE-2 has very similar wheels, just with a brighter finish. Dropping down a step to the middle trims affords you 18-inch alloys in either a bright or dark finish. And then going for the very base model gets you 17-inch alloys. Moving on to the mirrors, they are always body colored, heated, and power adjusting on all trims. On Denali, the driver's side would also be auto dimming, and blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert is standard on the SLT1 and above. Now on the topic of safety systems, the Acadia continues to have a full suite of them available when you opt for the SLT2 or Denali. They include low-speed auto braking with pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist, and auto high beam headlights. Additionally, our Denali has the optional technology package, which adds in adaptive cruise control and full-speed emergency braking. Just be aware that some rivals include these technologies on lower trims or all trims. Finally, to finish things up on the outside, the Acadia has either a 19 or 22 gallon fuel tank with front or all-wheel drive respectively. That means the all-wheel drive model actually gets the larger fuel range at 440 miles versus 399 with the front-wheel drive V6. Well, that concludes the exterior walk-around, so now let's go ahead and hop inside. So every version of the Acadia does come with smart entry and this really nice key fob. GMC was also nice enough to include remote start on all but the base trim. Now, just like all GM vehicles, there is not a sensor behind the handle, so you just press this button to unlock. So the last time I was in Acadia was when it was all new in 2017. And I can already tell there haven't been a great deal of changes since then. That means you still continue to have this really nice looking design, particularly on the Denali trim. Now this is the shale color scheme, but you could also choose jet black on the Denali as well. The other trims have to make do with either black or gray only. And then you do have leather on the SLT and Denali, cloth on the other two trims. Turning to the door trim, it does have a very rich appearance, with leatherette all through the door trim, and then stitched plastic across the top. All trims do have some form of faux wood. Only your driver's window is one-touch automatic, but you will find two-person memory seats on the SLT and Denali. Coming to the seats themselves, they are 8-way power adjusting on the SLT trims and the Denali. They are manual adjusting on the other two trims. And then, like already mentioned, the SLT and Denali also come with nice perforated leather. And you do have exclusive Denali branding up top on the headrest. So looking around the interior, as you can see, it has a very upscale and modern look to it. The materials back up that look, particularly on the Denali. So across the upper dash you do have soft touch plastic, and in the middle you've got some more of that faux wood trim, but real aluminum trim. And they do use that aluminum trim very extensively across the entire interior, including all around the screen. And then down below, the materials are hard touch, but everything fits together really nicely. Now across all Acadias, they do have push button start, so just press the button to go. When you do, a touchscreen will boot up across all trims, either 7 inches on the lower trims, or this 8-inch display on the SLT trims and the Denali. So what you're looking at now are the upgraded gauges that come on Denali only. They do feature a 7-inch reconfigurable display in the middle instead of a 4.2-inch one on the other trims. Now this is one of my favorite setups in the entire industry, mainly because you can change the entire design. You go into options here, and drop down to display theme. You can then choose between a couple different options. So you can go really high tech like this as well. So overall, really nice. Now backing up to the steering wheel, of course this does have electric power steering, and GMC was nice enough to include leather wrapping on even the base model. However, a lot of the other features are Denali exclusive, like the satin aluminum trim, the adaptive cruise control which comes with the tech package on Denali only, the heated steering wheel which is standard on Denali, as well as the power adjustment. All models, however, do get this electronic parking brake. Now moving on to storage, the Acadia does have a class competitive amount. Starting out under the center console here, as you can see, it is pretty deep, and there is a little pad down here at the bottom that is removable as well. Then in front of that, you've got your 2 cup holders, and you've got another deep pit right here, which is great for a phone since it has a rubberized texture on the bottom. Up top, there are 2 USB ports, an aux jack, and a 12-volt outlet. Now, unlike the Buick Enclave, you do not have an electronic shifter. So for this, all you have to do is pull back for drive, and then you can come back one more time to the L, where you can shift manually with these toggles. There are no paddle shifters. When you shift into reverse, a standard backup camera will appear on all trims. However, our Denali has the optional technology package, which includes the surround vision camera. Now this is a very nice setup. As you can see, you have a 360 bird's eye view, and you can also switch between some different guidelines as well. However, I do want to point out that it does not have the upgraded graphics like the 2019 Equinox that I was just in. Now moving back behind the shifter, you will find a control for the all-wheel drive system. Now as you can see, there are 5 different modes. I won't go through all of them, but I did want to point it out because most rivals do this automatically, so I like that you have the extra control here. Next up, we've got the climate controls, which are 3-zone automatic across all of the trims. As you can see, it's a very simple layout. You just have 3 big knobs for the primary controls of temperature and fan speed, and then you've got your zones going around the outside of it. Thankfully, none of the controls are hidden in the screen, including for both your heated and ventilated seats. Now, the heated seats are included on all but the base trim. However, the ventilated seats are Denali exclusive. Alright, so now let's go ahead and sample this model's upgraded Bose 8-speaker premium sound system. It does come on the SLT and Denali. Even though 8 speakers doesn't seem like a lot, the sound quality of this is every bit as good as all the rivals. Anyways, now that brings us to the IntelliLink system, so let's go ahead and take a quick look. So this is not the newest version of IntelliLink like in the GMC Terrain, however it does have all of the same functionality. So to start out with, this is your home screen and all of your apps populate here, and you can quickly click into things like your audio. In here we've got our Bluetooth paired, so you can play and pause straight from here, and you can switch to your other sources with these buttons as well. Now across the top you do have several shortcuts, so you can quickly click into another section. So going into phone, by default it brings you into your contacts, which have automatically synced over from your connected smartphone. Your menu button is along the bottom. Now going back to the home screen, you will notice this button labeled Projection. Now this is where both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay would appear if you connect a phone through the USB port. Those two systems are standard across all of the trims, regardless of whether or not you get navigation. However, on this Denali we do have standard navigation. This is your regular GM map, so you do have decent graphics as well as good touch response. The last thing I do want to show off is your rear climate controls. This does allow you to, of course, adjust the climate of the back passengers up here from the front, as well as have features like clicking this to lock them out from making any adjustments back there. So that pretty much sums up the main features of the GMC IntelliLink system. But of course, we do have a really detailed tech help tutorial available for those of you who want to learn more. A link to that is provided in the video description. Moving upwards, you will find an auto-dimming mirror on the SLT and up, as well as your 3 universal remotes. Now the moonroof is a little interesting in this model. As you can see, the sunshade does not operate with the moonroof, so you have to press this in, and then it's spring-loaded, so it will just slide right back. Now this is a dual panel setup, so the second panel is back there, and it also is the same way, but only the front panel does open. Now this is optional on the SLE-2 and up, including this Denali, for $1,400. So overall, the GMC Acadia continues to have a really pleasant cabin. This is a very luxurious and high-tech space, especially here in the Denali trim. However, it also has a very approachable nature, so nothing is overwhelming. So all in all, this is a great package. Just like all GM vehicles, you do have a rear seat reminder. Now I'll go ahead and hand it off to Mason, who will finish up the rest of the cabin. The back door trim of the Acadia Denali is really nice. It's leather where your arm will rest, and padded plastic above it. Additionally, your window is auto down. You do have some more of that wood trim, and down below you do have some door storage. Now, as far as rear space is concerned, you're going to find 39.7 inches of legroom and 39.6 inches of headroom. That actually places it above main competitors like the Toyota Highlander and Honda Pilot. Additionally, you do have this nice captain's chair, which will come on all but the base models. You can also slide and recline. In the center, all Acadias will have tri-zone climate control, so that means you have your own climate controls back here. You have temperature adjustment as well as the fan speed. Additionally, on the SLT-2 and Denali trims, you will have 3 stage heated rear seats. Down below that, you do have a 12 household outlet, as well as 2 smart charging USBs. Further below that, you do have this little shelf here that has quite a bit of storage space. Now, like I said, you do get the captain's chairs on all but the very base model, and you do have an adjustable armrest. Up top, we do have our dual panel moonroof, as well as some LED lighting, a nice headliner, those vents I pointed out earlier, and you do have an assist grip and coat hook. Now, as far as rear space is concerned behind Drew's position, I have plenty of it. I have about a foot of space between my knees and the seat back, and my feet can easily slide up under the seat. Sliding over, even with it all the way back, I still have a few inches of legroom. So overall, the rear seat of the Acadia Denali is a wonderful place to spend time. It's comfortable and spacious, plus you have all the features that you could ever want. Now, to get into the third row of the Acadia, just grab this little handle on the back of the seat back. And we'll slide the seat right out of place. Now, in the third row, you're going to find a little bit more space in the Toyota Highlander and a little less in the Honda Pilot, so it's very competitive with the class. So let's go ahead and get back there and see what it's like for an adult. So my first impression back here, I have a couple inches of leg room. My thigh support is lacking a little bit, but my feet can slide up under the seat, which is nice. And GMC also gave us a cup holder, as well as a smart charging USB on this side. Additionally, you do have some vents on the ceiling and some lighting. So overall, this probably isn't the best third row in the class, but it's also not the worst. So this is a pretty usable third row. Slide it back into place, just push it. It's very easy to do. Now, coming around to the tailgate, it is power on all but the very base model, and hands-free on the Denali. To open it, wave your foot under the side here. Now, in the cargo department of the Acadia, you're going to find a little less space than most of the rivals. You'll find around 13 cubic feet behind the third row seats, spanning to 42 behind the second row, and a maximum of 79 cubic feet. Like I said, that is a little bit smaller than the Highlander and Honda Pilot. You do have a little underfloor storage back here. Enough room for several different things. And over here on the sides, you do have some cubbies. To fold the third row, just grab this little strap. It will fold the headrest and push forward. To fold the other rows, just grab these little handles. Once you do, that does give you a flat loading floor and plenty of space. Passenger seat is a nice design, and it is 8-way power adjusting with power lumbar support on the top trim levels. I do want to quickly mention that the ventilated seats are automatic, so when I sat down in the seat, they turned all the way up to 3 stages. So that's a pretty nice feature from GMC. Now in front of the passenger, you do have nice materials with this padded dashboard, some more of that faux wood trim. And below that, you do have a good sized glove box. Up top, you do have a sun visor with some lighting and a mirror. It does also detach and extend. Well guys, that's all I'm going to cover up here, so let's go ahead and get to the powertrain and test drive. So under the hood of the Acadia, you're going to find 2 different engine options. The base engine is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, producing 193 horsepower and 188 pound-feet of torque. That engine is standard on SL through SLT-1. Now if you opt for one of the higher end models, you will get this engine, which is a 3.6 liter V6 engine. This engine generates 310 horsepower and 271 pound-feet of torque. Of course, front-wheel drive is standard on most trims, and all-wheel drive is an option, and it is paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now there are several different fuel economy figures. For the front-wheel drive 4-cylinder engine, you're going to come in at 23 combined, sinking down to 21 combined with the front-wheel drive V6 model. Now if you go fully out for a V6 all-wheel drive like what we have here, it's going to be rated at 20 combined. Alright, so before we run out of gas here, let's go on a little quick spin here. Alright, so power actually comes on really good. Even though this is a bigger vehicle, just from the seat of my pants, it almost feels like it's more powerful than the XT5 we were in, even though they've got the same engine, so that's interesting. Could have something to do with the transmission tuning. This is a 6-speed automatic versus the XT5's 8-speed. But it does shift very smoothly. I know 6 speeds seems like it's behind the times a little bit, but I don't think you'll have any complaints. And of course, it being an SUV, it does ride very smoothly. We are in the top trim level with the biggest wheels, so that might impact, you know, the bump and ride quality, but it does seem to ride very smoothly, rides as a luxury SUV would. Like Drew said, it's very similar to the XT5's ride, in my opinion, maybe even a little bit more refined. Well guys, we hope you enjoyed watching one of the first in-depth looks at the 2019 GMC Acadia Denali. Stay watching for a quick overview of the pricing, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons below. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.